Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. It's the Gooner Tokes with me, Tokes, and it's a huge weekend ahead in the Premier League. City are playing Liverpool at Anfield, Spurs are playing United at Old Trafford, so somebody's dropping some points. I'm going to get into my previews to the game in a second, but before I do that, you know what to do. Like, share, if you're new here, subscribe, let's grow the community together, and yeah, it's a massive weekend. So many big games happening. United, Tottenham, obviously Tottenham not doing well this season. They really need a win. United having a bit of a resurgence under Michael Carrick, and they're going to be pushing for the Champions League places. Liverpool, of course, trying to get those Champions League places as well. They're fighting United for it. And then Manchester City, of course, are trying to battle Arsenal for the title. They're already 6 points behind, so they can't afford to drop any more points, especially if Arsenal beat Sunderland tomorrow in the game the day before. As it stands, Arsenal, top of the league. 53 points. Brilliant place to be in. City second, 47 points, 6 points behind. Like I said, they can't afford to drop any more points at the moment. They don't want to be so far behind that the league gets done and dusted before what? Before it hits April? Villa, of course, are still trying to battle. They're a point behind City. They, have lost a lot of players through injury. They don't have a big squad. So this is where we're going to find out exactly, what depth they have at Villa. They've signed a couple of players, but European competitions are going to start up again. And they're going to be under the cosh, I think. United are in fourth. They sit in the Champions League places. What a turnaround from them. You got to give it to Michael Carrick. 100% record against the two teams fighting for the title. That's quite impressive. Obviously, they smoked City, and then they got a last-minute winner against us in the following game. Chelsea sitting fifth. They are battling, obviously trying to get into that Champions League, and Liam Rosselló, he's going to have to stop with his excuses of balls flying across pitches like happens in football matches and warm-ups and stuff like that. That guy, seriously, you can't come with that mentality to the league, especially when you're the new boy. You can't be doing that. And Arteta handled it brilliantly in his press conference. Just like, it happens. I apologize. And there we go. Let's move on. So well handled there. And then, of course, Liverpool sitting in sixth place on 39 points, 2 points behind Manchester United. So it is going to be, I think, quite changeable in that top six positions over the weekend, depending on who wins or loses. The first game up is Manchester United versus Tottenham. Tottenham have had a horrendous season. They're on the next page. I'm only putting the top 10. I'm not bothered about the bottom half of the table at the moment. That relegation battle, we'll deal with it a little bit closer to the end of the season. But for now, I'm looking at, especially because of the games this weekend, focusing on the top half of the table. And Tottenham are nowhere to be seen. We're at Tottenham, 14th. You got to scroll down. I had to scroll down a little bit to find Tottenham, and they only have 29 points. 29 points at this stage of the season is mad. Oh my God. Tottenham, if they don't win, they are going to be under serious pressure. They got a good result last time out against Manchester City. Obviously, it was 2-0 down at half-time, and they looked awful. I was texting my mates, and I was saying, like Tottenham really don't want to win this game. Like, they weren't even trying at all. Good comeback from them to draw 2-2, but we'll see what happens against Manchester United, who are on good form. They won another game in stoppage time last week. They did the same thing against us, and, they're looking like a little bit like the Manchester United of old. Let's see how long that continues. Is this just a manager bounce? Are they going to get found out? Is Carrick going to get found out? Is he going to be someone that they're looking at for the long term? Because don't forget, he's an interim manager. But hey, if he does a good job, gets them into the Champions League, maybe even finishes third, I think you got to have conversations about maybe Michael Carrick staying. But that's for the United fans to talk about. United fans, let me know. What do you think about Carrick? Personally, I think he's done a great job. But I don't know if you guys want him to be there long term, to be honest. And Tottenham fans, how do you feel about Frank? I know you don't want him out, to be honest. I see the way you all talk about him, but that was a great result for him and for us in the last round. I ain't going to lie. So long may Thomas Frank stay in the job. In terms of how the game's going to go, United have just got a bit of a head of steam at the moment. And Tottenham, yes, they had a nice comeback against City. But this is going to Old Trafford. The fans are going to be up. They're going to be loud. They're going to be well up for it. That guy with the long hair, he got 3 games in a row, 2 more wins, and he can shave that barnet. So I think the United players are going to be even more motivated for this game. And I just don't see Tottenham winning this one. They'll be lucky to get a draw out of it, but I fancy United to win this one. And I think they'll get a few goals against Tottenham. I think they'll win this 3-1. But if the Tottenham that came out in the second half against City is the one that starts and can maintain that for a whole game, because that's the problem with Tottenham. They may have the good 45 minutes here or there, a little spell, but they just haven't been able to maintain that for an entire game, and that's why they are where they are in the league table. 14th is awful. Don't forget, they finished, 17th last season? So they haven't seen the top half of the table in, coming up to 2 years. Ange left them in a terrible state, and it's just not got much better for them. So they'll be lucky to get something out of it if they perform like they did in the second half. But I think United win this one like 3-1, to be perfectly honest. Then the other big game of the weekend, of course, is Liverpool versus Manchester City. Playing at Anfield. City don't have a good record at Anfield. They don't win there very often, and City are under pressure. They've got Gueye in the squad now, so they're trying to integrate him. But still, is Gueye enough? Does that fix the problems? They dealt with Newcastle really well, but Newcastle came out, opened up against them, and they picked them off. Liverpool, will they do that? Let's see. Arne Slot was talking big about style of play in midweek, so let's see what style of play Liverpool go with. They're going to have to go for it. They're going to back up their manager's words. So if they go at City, really go at them, I can see Liverpool scoring a few here, to be honest. City, their midfield, it's just not great. They concede a lot of opportunities, and with Ekitike up front for Liverpool, he's quite lethal. I think he's going to have a lot to say in where that game goes. Haaland, is he going to be fit? But he hasn't really been scoring recently. He's been out of form. City, like I said, they really can't afford to lose this game. If they do, their fans are going to start questioning it. Their players are going to start questioning it, especially if Arsenal win. That's going to be a huge 9 points behind at this stage of the season. And will Arsenal lose 3 games before the end of the season? I don't know about that. So it's a huge weekend when you're looking at the title race. I think City are under enormous pressure. Guardiola, that's why he's moaning about Gueye missing the cup final. Man, them's the rules, you know what I mean? But make no mistake, City got to win this. And maybe because the pressures on City and Liverpool might have a bit of freedom, it could be an interesting game. I'm really excited to watch this game. I think it's got to be the game of the weekend for sure. You know what I mean? And Liverpool, us Arsenal fans are looking to you to do us a favour. Come on. Just score against them. Just win. You're playing at Anfield. You can't let City come and turn you over in your own back garden. We can't be allowing that. We want to see some entertaining football. We want to see you going at City. We want to see you putting them under pressure. I want to see this total football that Arne Slot is talking about. Don't win this. It doesn't mean anybody can win that. Well, no, every year only one person can win each trophy. Maybe the same person winning both, but it's not something that comes along every day. So as much as style of play is important, it's getting the points that really matter, and Liverpool looking to you to get the points on Sunday against Manchester City. Super Sunday, going to be a blockbuster game. Other big games of the weekend, Villa going away to Bournemouth. Bournemouth have picked up a little bit of form recently. Villa have lost a bit of form. They lost their last game at home against 10 men. No one saw that coming. I mean, I said it before that Villa aren't really in a title race just because of their squad depth, but they brought in a few new players. Let's see how Emery gets them working. But, they're going away to Bournemouth. I think it's one of those games that they can easily get turned over in. So it's going to be an interesting one. But if Villa really want to, challenge for the Champions League, like I said, I don't think they're going to be challenging for the league. They've got to win this game or at least get something out of it. It's going to be an entertaining one. I'll be watching the Arsenal-Sunderland. It's on at the same time. But I think it's going to be a score draw. I think something like 2-2, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah, I think that's how that's going to go. And Villa will drop a few more points in the race for the title and the race for the Champions League. Chelsea are playing Wolves, away to Wolves. Wolves, obviously, the whipping boys of the league. And Rosenio with his, I don't know. Like I said, the guy is just so performative. I don't trust his voice. He sounds unsure of himself. He sounds like somebody who's not confident, trying to fake it till you make it. Fair enough. Imposter syndrome is a real thing and it's a big job, but he's got to, I think, show a little bit more in terms of his presence and personality as a manager. It all seems quite manufactured to me at the moment. That's how I see Rosenio. So we'll see what happens. I expect Chelsea to beat Wolves anyway. If they want to finish in the Champions League places, they're going to have to beat Wolves. It's going to be, hard for them to maybe pick themselves up off the floor after the sickening loss against us. Sorry, guys, but let's see what they do. I think against Wolves is a perfect game to bounce back in. And yeah, those are the big games of the weekend, the ones that are going to affect things up and around the top 6 of the table. Arsenal playing Sunderland. Sunderland are actually in good positions. I've done my preview of that, so check it out. Sunderland are 8th. So all the top teams are playing other teams in the top 10, basically. The only one that's not is Villa. So pressure's on them to get something out of the game, like I said. And yeah, let's see how things go over the weekend. We kick things off early doors, United versus Tottenham. Going to be watching that one. Then let's see if Arsenal can extend their lead before we enjoy a nice evening game on Sunday. And see Liverpool help Arsenal to the title. I'll be supporting them that day, that's for sure. We ain't got no more games against Liverpool unless maybe we meet them, in the Champions League? Actually, no, we're seeded, so I don't even think we can unless it were in the final or something like that. So, hey, Liverpool, do your stuff. Beat City. Supporting you. Hey, listen, I'll catch you lot later. Why don't you let me know in the comments how you think the games are going to go? What do you think is going to happen in the United Spurs game? Is Carrick going to continue that good form, or is Thomas Frank going to start a resurgence for Spurs? They're playing us soon, so I hope not, really. I hope they're more in the doldrums. We've already played United twice, so, that's done and dusted as well. And then, yeah, let me know about the big game. What do you think? Liverpool fans, you can't be like Tottenham fans wanting your team to lose to stop Arsenal winning the league, You got to support your team, right? Right? I don't know. I would definitely. Hey, drop a note in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share if you're new here, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, people. Have a great day. Peace. Bye.